Y'all, I don't normally film at night, but here I am because today was too freaking crazy to film even 1 minute of the day. It was that crazy. Did I pass out again? Well, I didn't go unconscious, but they had to nurse me at the hospital for at least an hour.
And then you were banned from physical therapy.
And then I was banned from physical therapy. I have a serious medical issue. I'll be going to have some more tests and whatnot Thursday. So like in like 2 days. Y'all, it's crazy to just, ooh, I'm going down. And then it's just intense misery, but also like falling asleep. And they throw wet towels on me and ice, and they say, stay with me. And well, the funny thing about today is that I was John's ride to surgery, and then I had a fainting spell, and as he was supposed to be taken back for surgery. My darling father, I was like, I sent him a message. I said, I'm passing out again. He knew I'd been in the hospital the other day. I said, I'm passing out again. John's supposed to go to surgery right now. 911 help, basically. And he left immediately and started rescuing us one by one. This is John's foot. This is John. I'm his incredibly healthy nurse caregiver. I could go unconscious at any minute.
Don't worry, I'm good on the crutches.
He's good with his crutches.
I'll put a little wet towel on the end of one
and wave it over me to try and revive me. So John's never had surgery before. I was supposed to like support him through this trying ordeal. I made it before he got taken back. Daddy ushered me to John's bedside. All right, I'm gonna peel some apples. Get John some apple slices with peanut butter. So I was doing fairly better with my low blood pressure. And then I went into physical therapy, which they told me I could go back to. And they were really ready for me. You know, they knew I'd had passed out the last time and been admitted to the hospital. Like, they checked my blood pressure before we even got started. Kept it there to keep checking it, and like we only did like little seated things. Like the goal of the game was like kind of not to give me a workout, but to just like monitor me and try to get just like take it really easy and monitor me and see what was going to happen. And so we did just some easy little seated things, and then I got on the bed to do stretches, laying down. So laying down is supposed to be good for my blood being able to pump. And one would think. And I did not have my compression. These are my compression thigh highs. I did not have my compression thigh highs this morning because I ordered them in the mail. And so they hadn't come yet. But I was very hydrated. I was very well fed. One of the theories was that I was also having hypoglycemia and that my blood sugar and my blood pressure was dropping at the same time. But they didn't have the data on that. So if nothing else, we got more data today because they were prepared for me. So as soon as I went down, they took my blood and my blood pressure. It's not my blood sugar. It's not my blood sugar. They checked my blood as soon as I went down this time. My blood sugar was like perfect. It's just the blood pressure. And so that was about the time I was supposed to leave and go take John for his first surgery. And I was like, oh my God, it's happening again. I'm out. And they laid me down though right away, got my feet up right away, covered me with ice and towels because my temperature spikes as well when this happens. And I started to feel myself going out. I said, I'm fading. We were all more prepared for what was happening. They were like, oh God, you know, stay with me. And I didn't pass out all the way today. And so they were ready with, not physical therapy, but the nurse that would take me to labor and delivery, and if I needed to go, if I needed to be admitted, or they had a nurse who was ready to test my blood and all that stuff, and the physical therapists. It was terrible. I can't express to you the misery. It just feels terrible. And then this time I had somewhere I needed to be. I couldn't leave Johnny hanging. I was supposed to be there for him. So I called, emergency call to my father who was at work in town. And I tried calling him first and he didn't answer. He was in a meeting. And then I went to call John because I knew I had to get John to surgery somehow, and that he couldn't go back, you know, with just nobody. And he obviously couldn't drive when he came out of anesthesia. Anyway, so I was like passing out, trying with my like last dying breath to get these people organized in some way so that I said, go get John. I've got nurses. Nurses will take care of me. So I kind of felt like I had John squared away. I had someone else, a helper, my father, into the situation. And I was left. Yeah. I've already got 3 peeled. Now I'm slicing them. I predicted this. It's an extra apple day. So then I was with my physical therapist and the nurse. And when I say my blood sugar drops, like I can't remember the top, not my blood sugar, that was fine. My blood pressure, the top, I can't remember the top number, but that bottom number goes down into the 40s. It ain't supposed to go lower than 60. Like I'm heading out. It's terrible to even talk about it. So as soon as, once I got my blood pressure coming back up and my temperature going back down, then I got scared. Because it just, at this point, it feels like I could just drop dead at any moment. And I got scared. And I told him, I was like, I'm scared. And my temperature was coming back down, and I was covered in ice bags and towels, and I started shaking and having panic. And so then I guess I had a little panic attack and couldn't stop shaking. But I've been doing so much reading over the years on how to treat my panic disorder. And then I've also been doing so much reading and research on how to have a natural birth. And one of the things that happens with birth sometimes is like uncontrollable shaking. And so I learned it has something to do with the vagus nerve. So a lot of my panic attacks have to do with vagus nerve. And then that's one thing that can happen with birth or after birth. And so to stop the body from shaking, stick the tongue out. And I'd never had opportunity to try it since I had read that. It's because like the tongue is like attached vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is fascinating. Start reading about that. So I stuck my tongue out and it stopped the violent shaking of my body. So I learned that. I used that. And that's nice because when you can't stop shaking, that's pretty bad. Anyway. Now I'm going to add peanut butter. And John probably wants walnuts on top of the peanut butter. Let me see. All right, we're going to put some peanut butter on these. All right, we're putting some peanut butter on these applesauces. I love the natural creamy Jif. John likes it chunky. We go back and forth. It's delicious peanut butter. Okay, so John's watching sports now. That will be good for him. So my father took John to his surgery and then left him there and came to get me because they said I obviously could not drive. But my blood pressure came back up, so I didn't have to be admitted. And all right, got Johnny iced. I need to finish up these apple slices real quick. Get him some food. Okay, so my father came, they wheeled me out in a wheelchair. I got my father, and I couldn't be left alone. But also, John can't bring himself home from surgery, so it was decided that just we'd all three stick together. So Daddy took me to the surgery center, and by some miracle, John had not been taken back yet. So I was actually able to be with him, and I was not passing out at the time. That was good. I was actually able to be with him as they began to give him some of his procedure, and then we were there for right long. So I've been feeling poor. We got KFC and my compression stockings out from the P.O. box and came on home, and I'm just really exhausted and tired after these events, and I can't go back to physical therapy. And they wanted to see me today at the midwives, but it wasn't happening. But not tomorrow, but the next day, we'll find out more. We got more data today. It's not blood sugar, it's just blood pressure. So that was the calamity of this day. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something specifically about physics. We took it easy today. I was literally just sitting kind of... I did as much or more here around the house this weekend. I don't know why, but I'm going to leave you with some nice, pretty scenery from the pleasant little weekend I had.
Mom, damn it, don't move. Help me. And that's why you got it. Why? Oh.
Alright, so here we are on a desktop. You get WayCrunchy. Yeah, all of y'all should be subscribed, but now you could also join. What happens when we click this? Want to join this channel? Sign in to become a member. So I'm on my son's computer and he doesn't have a sign in. But yeah, sign in and follow the directions.